All right, everybody. Welcome, one and all, to another fine episode of Behind the Counter. I'm your host, Rich Stambolian, and with me, as always, is the original inspiration for Thunderlips and Rocky 3, Jonathan Adler.
Thank you for having me.
All right. How you doing, Mr. Comfortable?
This is wonderful.
In case you don't know out there in the chat room where everybody's watching, Jonathan finally got his Christmas wish, which is a new chair.
It's so perfect.
And Santa brought him too.
This is it. This is, if I died in the next 10 minutes, I would be going to hell, but very comfortably.
I would have to weekend at Bernie's the rest of the show.
Just flay me and just wear my skin.
That would be
skin suit.
A 45-minute flaying.
Just do really 45 minutes for me? You can't get my skin off faster than that?
Nah, it's got to be. I got to take a little bit of time.
Just do it raw, man. Do it raw.
Okay. I got to find a sharp knife. I feel like...
Andrea, do you have a sharp knife on hand?
Yeah.
Of course. See?
Sure. Do you?
Half an hour.
Yeah.
Half an hour. And with Andrew's help, you can flay me.
Would you help me flay Jonathan?
I don't know. I like him a little too much.
Yeah, but start here. Start on my elbows, like that loose skin. That'll come right up. It's like the soft spot when you open up a plastic bag.
Like a Bane.
It's a good segue for our new segment. What part of Jonathan would you wear? I'd put his beard on my beard.
I would.
The double beard?
Beard.
Yeah.
I don't think you want to wear any other part of my skin. It's all very tainted.
Put a beard on my beard so I can beard while I beard.
Do you hear about those dudes who do like a Fear Factor thing in Germany?
No.
Where they got two doctors to cut off pieces of their flesh, and they had to feed each other the cooked flesh off their arm.
No, I did not.
This was like the ultimate worst thing they can do on like a Fear Factor.
And they aired this?
Yeah, German TV because they're out of their minds.
What extraneous body part did they do? Like just like a nub of arm? Or?
I think they had a moil come on and snip the tip. I don't know. I think off the arm. I think it was something off their arm. I think it's the loose skin, right here.
Did they do it a little wacky? I'm going to put this on a slice of pizza, and you're not going to know what part of the pizza.
I couldn't watch the video. I didn't go near it. I just read the little blurb about it, and I was like, you know what? I don't want to watch that.
That's frightening, man.
Don't want to go anywhere near it.
There's that, and then there's that. Did you take a look at that link I showed you the other day where that guy he's getting put away for he's taxiderming rare animals together?
No, I didn't see it.
There's this taxidermist who is taking these endangered animals. He's buying the dead bodies after people are done with them, and he's mashing them together in crazy ways. So one of them is was some rare crab with a rare hamster as its head. It's insane.
A crabster?
Yeah,
crabster.
It was like a crabster, but anyway, that's a little dark. It's Christmas.
Christmas.
A whole lot of comic books came out this week.
No news.
Yeah.
Was there any news?
Not really. I mean, cool stuff happened this week.
We had the Batman trailer.
We had the Batman trailer, which is fantastic.
Which is, the best thing I've seen. I think it definitely puts
Really?
to shame.
You think the trailer was good?
Yeah. I liked it. Did you not like
I thought it was
voice?
better than good.
Really?
You didn't like
Why?
his voice?
What's your problem?
Coming off of the last one,
It's
it's hard to top it. I didn't really like it.
Really?
Yeah. The whole football thing bothered me.
That's awesome.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah, man.
It didn't do it for me.
Did you watch the bootlegged 6 minutes of?
I didn't see the 6 minutes. I only saw
Pretty
the
rocking.
small one.
It is hard to understand that dude, but I do like his accent.
Who, Bane?
Yeah. I think it's gonna be rocking, and I think they're not telling you a lot about the story.
Yeah.
That was the thing. They don't really explain you the story in the trailer.
They show I think they show a lot of it out of sequence because they actually show Bruce walking around with kind of gray in his temples and with a cane.
Yeah.
So I think at some point in the middle of the story, he's actually gonna get his back broken or very, very severely beat up,
close to crippled.
and he's gonna have to go back and do the after Nightfall thing where he actually has to recover and then take down a French guy in a armor.
There's also the fact that Christopher Nolan, I feel like he knows he has to come above and beyond with this movie.
Yeah,
Exactly.
because the other one was so good.
Yeah. And I think in a lot of ways he's gonna top it. This is it, man. This is the end.
It's the end of the trilogy. I do have faith in what he's doing.
So what do you think they're going to do after this?
Another Batman franchise with a different director.
Starting over again.
Look at him take a shot at Justice League.
I thought Christian Bale is not a bad Batman.
He's the best.
He's a
Batman.
great
Yeah.
Batman. He's a tremendous Batman.
Yeah, better than Val Kilmer.
Way better than Val Kilmer. Second to none. We were talking about this last night on the way home, where
No, we weren't.
perfect cast would have been Don Draper.
Yeah.
John Hamm would have been the epitome of Bruce Wayne.
I just think he'd be very awkward with the fights.
Yeah,
He's just like
he looks like a floppy guy.
like a mummy.
Don Draper is a perfect Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. Ever since when we started watching Mad Men, I was like, this guy is like not so much Batman. He's not so much Bruce Wayne, but he's like when Bruce Wayne is in the Batcave, like looking at the computer, like that's Don Draper.
With the cowl down.
Yeah, with the cowl down and everything. Like kind of like Neil Adams.
Jim Aparo.
Jim Aparo did like the hairy chest one. Yeah.
Well, he would be an older Batman. He's 40.
Yeah.
You know. Christian Bale's the 30-something.
Is he? Yeah. I don't know about that. I think he's like 40.
Christian Bale?
Yeah.
No, he's not
Look
that
it up.
old.
I think he's like 30. I'll say 36 on
You're always
Christian
wrong
Bale
about this.
while you look it up. I'm with you.
I was going to say
I'm the best at
33.
this. I'm the best at this game.
Oh, you know what?
Andrew, 26.
Christian Bale, 37.
Yeah, very close.
Booyah. Stalker.
I think it looks awesome. I think it looks really cool. I want to see my Scarecrow appearance. I know that Liam Neeson is billed to be in the film.
I want to see if they incorporate the bear into it. That was always one of my favorite parts of Bane. Little character trait.
The teddy bear.
Yeah,
that's my least favorite thing. My least favorite thing with Bane was the fact when they were playing around with him possibly being Bruce Wayne's brother.
Yeah,
the illegitimate brother. So he would have been Bane Wayne.
Yeah, Bane Wayne. Beat Bane Wayne. It would have made for interesting.
It's a Bobby
stories.
joke.
I would have made for an interesting Elseworld story.
Oh, we should plug Bobby.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know the name of the website.
I do.
Go,
off the top of my head.
Go for it, man.
Our OFB, our friend Bobby, a silent contributor to the show and our biggest fan, has started a wonderful writing and music blog called A Mouthful of Pennies.wordpress.com. Follow him, subscribe. It's wonderful.
It's good stuff. He's a very big silent contributor, but not a very big man.
And very, not at all. He's a string bean. The most amazing thing about it is he taught himself, like, he was basically a guy who communicated via, like, smoke signals. And he now knows how to text, and he created this. He taught himself how to do, like, GarageBand now. And
that's awesome.
He's all done this within, like, a couple of days.
What's the website? A Mouthful of Pennies.
WordPress.com.
Yeah.
WordPress.com.
It's funny. I remember a few years ago where, like, you'd always tell me that Bobby was kind of like a Luddite. And the day he got his cell phone, it was like the end of Return of the Jedi.
Oh, yeah.
Like, fireworks were going off.
I thought you meant, like, taking off Vader's mask.
I don't think that's the website.
A Mouthful of Pennies.wordpress.com.
FUL. A mouthful.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do have to spell it correctly.
Did you put a mouth of pennies?
Yeah.
Yeah, a mouthful of pennies.
Got a mouth of pennies.
Okay.
So we had the Batman trailer this week. You also had the Hobbit trailer, which is fantastic. We're not going to get into that too much. It was awesome. It was awesome. And the Prometheus trailer, which if you
rocking.
If you have not seen the Prometheus trailer,
You're an idiot.
Is
it's Alien, right?
Insane. It's the non-prequel to Alien.
I think it's going to be in the same universe. It's going to basically give you a payoff of what the aliens' kind of purpose in the universe is.
Yeah.
But ultimately, what I think it is kind of doing a Lovecraftian, like, space archaeologist, source for the space jockeys. The space jockey's head is in the trailer.
Yeah.
As well as that throne that he was in.
Well, there's like a split.
For those who don't know about the space jockey is that gigantic crustacean-looking dude who's like in the egg room in the very first Alien.
And the trailer is very similar to the first Alien trailer.
Yeah.
Even down to the music.
Yeah, absolutely. It's got that same type of, and the text moving, sideways.
It looks fantastic. The cast is amazing. Did you know that in that original space jockey scene, they use kids in spacesuits instead of adults to make it seem bigger?
Oh, really?
Yeah, just to make it seem bigger.
Dude, the sets look so cool. That I think that was so cool about Alien is that how quiet it was, and also how they basically did not tell you a damn thing about where this stuff comes from. So it's gonna be interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing Michael Fassbender at one point spit milk out of his mouth since he's the android of this one.
Yeah. And you have the beautiful Charlize Theron is she's part of the team as a like a business liaison.
I think she works for that corporation through all of them, way like that half Japanese, half British name.
The same one that Paul Reiser worked for in Aliens.
Yes, yes, scumbags.
Yeah.
Also, you get the wonderful Mooney Rara, whatever her name is. Rara. The dragon tattoo lady.
Okay.
She's in
right.
it.
Okay.
She plays like the Sigourney Weaver type.
See, I feel like the movie's gonna be awesome, but for me, as like an action junkie, the team in Aliens was by far the best because you had you had Hudson, Lance Henriksen, Bishop. You had
the girl who was supposed to be Michelle Rodriguez.
What I found surprising, what I found surprising is
over, man.
They don't really say that it's part of the Alien franchise. In the trailer.
Yeah. Well, because he doesn't want it to be billed as that. Because also he wants you kind of walking in and being surprised by the scope, and if you do see something that's like a face hugger or like a xenomorph, it's going to be that much more of a surprise.
I think the title is way too many words for the average person to understand.
Prometheus?
Yeah, most people can't spell that.
Prometheus.
There is a face hugger in the trailer. For a split second.
You can't tell if it's a face hugger or something like it. That way he's pulling out the thing.
Yeah. No. There's like a quick shot of somebody getting their face.
Oh, it's acid.
Something like latching onto their face. Is it acid?
It's acid. It's like whatever they turn on the heat inside of his spacesuit, which I love those spacesuits also. They're awesome. And they show like another one because you see their names across the front of their glass. You see the same dude like he's kind of ripping his face off. But what's also weird, they IO9 did like a shot for shot coverage of it, like and kind of pulled it apart.
Right.
And the scene when they show like the space jockey like seat coming out of the ground in that throne room,
ridiculous.
There's a dude to the right who is like wearing like a black spacesuit with like a bald kind of head, like you don't know who the hell this dude is, and he's also the same dude jumping at them at some point. Dude, it looks awesome. I'm so psyched for it.
I'm incredibly. But next year's going to be an awesome year for movies. You're going to get a new Bond flick. You're going to get Batman. You're going to get Prometheus. You're going to get The Hobbit. You're going to get Spider-Man.
Yeah,
you're gonna get Spider-Man. You're gonna get Ghost Rider. It's gonna be insane.
Ghost Rider,
the PBS version.
The what?
The PBS version.
Yes, Ghost Rider.
Full live action movie about Ghost Rider and Ghost Dad too. Ghost Dad.
Ghost Dad. Cosmo sweater.
Straight Cosmo sweater. I think that really about does it for like superhero movies next year, right?
You said Avengers, right?
Avengers, yes, Avengers and
the important one.
Avengers Part 1.
Part 1. There's no guaranteed sequels.
I think there's gotta be. There's gotta be. It's gotta be.
I don't know if that's written in stone.
Please.
There's. I'm looking forward to Looper from the guy who did Moon.
Okay.
And Brick. It's gonna be another time travel movie set in like a very strange Blade Runner world. That's coming out soon.
I love that. That's gonna be excellent. What was I read an interesting thing with Fassbender, where he's like, I'm not looking towards the other Alien movies for inspiration. I'm looking towards Blade Runner for the inspiration to play my android.
It's interesting.
So he's gonna do more of like a replicant style.
Well, he is. Ridley Scott is doing another Blade Runner, which is who knows? He may tie the two worlds together.
Is he doing like a sequel to Blade Runner, or like he's doing like a complete like re thing? I know they're doing.
He might do. He says he may do it. How the robots did Uprising.
Right.
I would rather not him touch that because I think Blade Runner is pretty much as near perfect as you get for a really heady sci-fi film.
Absolutely. Well, there's like an interesting trend too, which I feel like is going to start is that. Directors doing their older movies are going to redo the same movie except the way they want to now with technology. American Psycho, which was another weird bit of news today.
It came out last week. They brought that up. We're culturally bankrupt. We are like we're making a movie that was just made less than 10 years ago, and now setting it in like current times.
Yeah,
the appeal of American Psycho is that's an 80s pop culture film.
Right.
That is. It's a lot funnier than the book actually is, the film version. It's pretty much as near perfect as it can be. But, like, dude, I don't want to see, like, American Psycho Money Never Sleeps with stupid Shia LaFace.
See, I always have a little dose of hope when the writer of the original tome will say, I want to do this. Like, Bret Easton Ellis said, I would like to do it, but I'll only sign off on it if it's two people. And I forgot the one guy name, but the other one is the Kardashian dude who looks like Patrick Bateman. Looks exactly like Patrick Bateman.
Yeah, you don't want that though. Bret Easton Ellis is full of shit anyway. Like, like I like a lot of that kind of stuff, but then he's written a lot of shit also. Okay. He's full of his. He smells his own poop all day.
That's a good. That's a good one.
Gross.
Who else does that? Howie Mandel.
Howie Mandel smells his own poop. Just like all day. Just like.
All dirt.
Good morning.
All right, let's get to this gigantic stack of books I have in front of me.
Okay.
All right.
Let's do it.
Let's do this. All right, number one, let's go in for some awesome, lot of great comics. It was like a nice little holiday gift for everybody who's a comic fan. I came home with a giant stack of books this week. Wolverine,
I was a little overwhelmed by how much stuff came this week.
Really tremendous stuff too. So we're gonna talk about
everything.
Hopefully not everything. But Wolverine and the X-Men, man, number 3. Wrapping up the first storyline.
Great cover.
Great cover. You have Quentin Quire on the cover. It says, remember when Wolverine was cool? Me neither. Love what they're doing with the Quentin Quire character, where they're making him like this
hipster British scumbag,
He's like an impotent anarchy punk.
Yeah.
Because he is like the heart of gold. At the very base of it, he saves the day in this issue.
I wouldn't say heart of gold. That's a little pushing it. But but inherently, you could, he's being put in a situation where he has to kind of do good just to prove himself that he's the best.
Yeah.
Because the dude is an Omega level, mutant waiting to happen. As they really point the hell out of it.
Yeah, they always point the hell out of that. But it's a great issue. It's the kid version of the Hellfire Club. It's culminating on their attack on the mansion, and during when the first day the mansion opens, and Wolverine is doing a tour with the state inspectors, and everything hits the fan. And this issue, the last issue ended with Krakoa coming to life, the island, who actually turns out to be a mutant, who Quentin Quire convinces to stay at the school and become a student. So now that the grounds of the new school are actually alive.
I like how he beats him. He does like a psychoanalysis of him. He's like starts reading his brain. He's like, you know what? You're not such a bad dude. You just want to kind of fit in.
So
good Kid Gladiator stuff.
Yeah, really good Kid Gladiator stuff. I just want to punch stuff.
Yeah, he's like he's really like kind of like a Conan with a mohawk
from space.
Yeah,
from outer space.
Who else was really good in this?
Brew. I liked the little bit where
rocks.
Where they're like he only wears the glasses so he doesn't scare everybody.
Yeah. The art was tremendous. Really awesome face off between. Oh, and some good Rachel Summers stuff in this too.
Yeah.
I like her digs. I like her outfit in this. If I must say so myself. I like the bit with Toad being the janitor, that he's the one that has to clean up all his crap. And I think we should talk about the fact that
Daredevil shows up.
Daredevil shows up. Yeah. And also the fact that Mr. Sabretooth has made his return. After 2-3 years.
Yeah.
If not longer.
Now Sabretooth also made another return this week.
Where?
In one of the last pages of something. Well, he makes a return in this one to Hellfire Club. And he says if you want to take him out the right way, I'm just the guy to do it.
And he's been dead ever since he's been beheaded by Wolverine in the awful Wolverine versus the Cat People Jeff Loeb story.
Right.
He shows up in that Wolverine.
And he shows up in Wolverine at the end.
So Sabretooth is back, which is...
and he's busy.
Yeah, he's very, very busy. He's in 2 books. I would really appreciate if they just forget about the whole Jeff Loeb cutting his head off. This is one of the few times where I want them to kind of swallow down the old continuity.
Well, that was a culmination of that god-awful Wolverine's a Catman story.
Yeah, the Cat People.
Yeah, with and the art was phenomenal, man. Like it was Simone Bianchi doing the art, who was a heavy metal artist, and the culmination of that story was Wolverine cutting Sabretooth's head off, and that's it. End of Sabretooth, done.
I did not appreciate that story at all.
No, not at all. And it sold really well, but it just kind of stunk, man. And it did write Sabretooth out of the picture. One of my favorite Sabretooth bits is on the Derek Robertson run, where Wolverine runs over him with the Hummer. And leaves him outside the base that they're infiltrating, and he's just stuck under a car.
Yep.
Good stuff, man.
You can do good stuff with him. I'm looking forward to. I think he's gonna do an anti-Wolverine school with the Hellfire Club.
That would be awesome.
I think they're gonna make him into a smart chap.
Or they're gonna be teach us how to be as bad as you.
Yes.
Because Sabretooth is one of the baddest dudes in the Marvel universe.
Yeah, he's a psychopath.
And you have the Age of Apocalypse version, who's the complete polar opposite of.
Awesome.
The Marvel Sabretooth, well, it's the different Marvel Sabretooth where he's an awesome, he's the Wolverine of the Age of Apocalypse.
Yeah.
He's the big hero.
Yeah, he's got a heart of gold, and
he's tough as shit.
He's tough. Yeah. He's got he was basically it's funny how they bring it up in X-Force how he loved Wild Child, but he treated like a son.
Right.
But he basically kept it on a chain for his whole life.
Well, Phantom X brings that up where he's like, yeah, it's great. It's a really good job you're doing that. You love the kid, and he's got a chain around his neck, and he's kind of your slave, right? He's like,
yeah.
Yeah. But Uncanny X-Force, which I personally just caught up on a bunch of issues, honestly, it
thank God
really is what everybody says it is. It's one of the greatest team books on the shelf right now. One of the greatest X-Men books you'll ever read, too, probably.
Yeah, man. The team is amazing. The both the art team and the actual physical team, the writing team, everything about this really, really clicks. You get tremendous character development for one of my favorite characters to come out of the Grant Morrison X-Men run, Phantom X. Daredevil is written to a T where he's so likable. He's still that psychopath that you like.
Deadpool.
What did I say?
Daredevil.
Daredevil, who is not on the team, but I also enjoy him very much.
Who's also a psychopath, but
yeah a little bit. But what I really dug was the fact that they've been doing this big back and forth Age of Apocalypse storyline. Now Nightcrawler from Age of Apocalypse has joined this team, decided to stay behind to go after the refugees that are left over. Sugar Man, Dark Beast, their Age of Apocalypse Blob, and my favorite Sinister Iceman, which is basically an Iceman who's just complete dick.
Yeah, and
super powerful. So they're basically introducing this team. Because they're the hit squad. Part of the deal that Wolverine made with Beast for him to come onto his side was for him to give him full disclosure. So he's not happy about the hit squad, so he's making X-Force into kind of like the campus cops for the Jean Grey school. Yeah. So Kitty Pryde runs out and sees Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler is dead in the Marvel universe.
One of my favorite moments in the book.
Yeah, and she's like, oh my God, like, Kurt, you're back. He's like, get off of me. Like, I'm not the person that you think I am.
I'm not anybody's friend right now.
Yeah. It's like, don't like it. And that's what's cool is like they kind of are addressing that just because you come from another reality doesn't mean you can just kind of stand into this other one. They do the same thing with the relationship between Jean Grey from Age of Apocalypse and Wolverine.
Well, because he loves her so much and he's pining after her, and she's just like, listen, I'm probably never going to see you again. He's like, just stay with me. And she's like, listen,
it's not going to happen.
Just enjoy while it lasts, bub. And
also the fact that her Wolverine is now the Apocalypse in Age of Apocalypse.
Right. He's a big bad.
And he gives, that's what's great also, that's so much cool stuff. Yeah. Wolverine gives Sabretooth, when he's going back to the Age of Apocalypse, the Muramasa blade, which is the only thing that can really kill Wolverine and halter his healing factor.
I'm really glad that they wrote that blade out of the book.
Yeah.
Out of the regular Marvel continuity, because they did their own story with it, and I feel like it was a little too much, and then they melted it onto Daken, and then they took it back.
Yeah.
Giving it to Sabretooth and sending him into the Age of Apocalypse makes room for another excellent story that could be told with that weapon.
Yeah. And also you've got some great, like, amazing moments with, like, Psylocke and Archangel, because Archangel was Apocalypse up until, like, pretty much the end of the story.
Right.
Because Apocalypse basically is always going to be reborn. And so, like, this weird love triangle between Phantom X, Psylocke, and Archangel.
Yeah.
So she basically killed Archangel, but he's been reborn, but a blank slate. He's kind of like a weird, like, angelic.
Yeah,
doesn't remember anything. Looks exactly like Angel, but he's not Angel.
And he's got like a new kind of character trait where he's like, just let me heal you.
Yeah,
just let me touch you and it'll be well. So he's like he's probably gonna be the voice of hope on the team,
or a psychopath, or like a weirdly over the top psychopath. My absolute favorite moment was the idea of early on in the story. This team got together to go after a reborn Apocalypse, which was like basically in the body of like Damien, Damien being like the Omen, he's like the Devil's kid who's being raised by Apocalypse's scions to like make him into this eventual like super Hitler,
right?
And they're all debating like, what do we do about it? Do we kill him? And Phantom X just blew his brains out.
Yeah.
And in this, they kind of reveal that he's been raising a clone version of Apocalypse
in virtual reality.
In basically
as Superman,
like he'd raised him like on a Clark Kent farm with Mom and Pa, and like Phantom X in like farming gear, and this white man like looks like Storm Shadow wearing like a farm outfit.
He's the uncle.
Is his uncle taught him how to be a superhero? So he, his character's still around, and he's being brought up to be Genesis as opposed to Apocalypse. It is awesome.
Yeah, it's a really fantastic. But that scene in this issue where Was it this issue or the last issue? I'm not really sure.
Which
I
one?
read a bunch of them today. I mean, like it's congruent. Isn't the last issue, where Psylocke takes Warren and puts all the thoughts of the future into his head.
Yes, yeah, that was last issue.
If they lived like a normal life and
they get old together,
and they go and he dies and he's just like, I love you, and she's like, you're the best. You're like the best person on earth.
And she says goodbye to him.
Tearjerker.
Yeah.
And then he comes from the ashes, and then you have this issue where she's afraid of him almost, because she said her piece, and he's not the same person anymore.
Like, what happens when you go through the mourning process, like in the course of an entire lifetime, in 5 minutes, and then that person's like back to life.
Yeah. So I also like the fact that Remender, whatever Rick Remender writes, he always throws in a nice little dose of humor. And in this issue, you had Wolverine sitting in a room full of empty beer cans, and Phantom X showing up and kind of like ribbing him a little bit and saying like, yeah, you know what? So you're saying that because an evil version of somebody on your team went nuts, and I saved the day, and I saved the day like this, and I did all this stuff, like I'm in the wrong. And Wolverine's just like, get out, and then he pours the beer over over his own head because he's got 3 brains.
Yo, Phantom X is such a smart character. He's so well done. And basically he won that kind of. I think he beat him out. I think he beat out Wolverine as the boss man
and the cool guy on the team.
Yeah, he's a great character.
Wolverine's got a lot to deal with. He's very stressed out.
He does. He's got his own school. He's got a hit squad.
He's on the Avengers.
He's on the Avengers. Which is all going to come to a head soon.
He's fighting dragons underneath the earth.
I think Wolverine's taking a back seat in this book now. I think it's going to focus a lot more on Phantom X. And since they're doing a big crossover, and with all the Remender's books, it's going to be X-Force. What was the other book he's doing? Secret Avengers, which is taking over, and Venom are all getting together, and they're doing like some cross-time caper thing with Captain Britain.
Good. That was the end of this issue, where Phantom X gets punched in the mouth by Captain Britain.
I guess just serve trial because he was basically bringing folks back and forth between realities.
Yep,
such good stuff.
Pretty good stuff, man.
Who would have thought in an X-Force book?
I mean,
20 years ago, cybernetic arm.
Yeah.
Pouches.
Wolf
guys
lady.
Guys with ponytails, and now you've got like really thought-provoking adult drama.
Big body, little head guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have a really cool thing. I feel like for a lot of fans, like once you see the X-Force moniker, you kind of steer clear of it. Or you're like, how good could this possibly be? This is one of the best books on the shelf.
Real good,
pound for pound.
Yeah, this is going on my best of 2011, especially like the run before us with Yost was incredible, and when Remender came on, he really made this book his own, and it really is a pretty book. He's
a special guy, that Remender. Yeah. What do we got next? Another fantastic issue, man. Invisible Iron Man number 511, man. Book. Really, really excellent book.
About that.
The last issue we left off with the Mandarin kind of politically screwing Iron Man in a certain way, and using Jedediah Stane. Zeke Stane.
Obadiah. Zeke. You're right.
Using Zeke Stane, and apparently in this issue you get the reveal that Mandarin has, he's amping up the super criminals, but he's also putting bombs in their chest.
Yeah, he's creating. This whole story is basically kind of everything's happening all at once when it comes down to like what Mandarin and Zeke are working on, plus revitalizing every single one of the rogues.
Yeah. Living Laser, really cool Living Laser stuff.
Yeah.
See, this is something that gets on my nerves completely, is that you have Living Laser in here as a viable threat, and through Tony Stark's narrative, he's saying like, well, he's not as strong as he was, but he's fast. He's way faster, and if he's that fast, he doesn't need to be that strong because this guy's really messing with me. In the Extinction number 1,
I was thinking about that too.
You have him blowing off Living Laser like
nothing.
Like nothing happened. Like I want that continuity to go across all books.
It's not going to happen with a Jeff Lowe book.
Yeah, well,
just ignoring it.
That's what I want. And you have some cool stuff here with also there was a video of Pepper Potts crying at her desk that was posted online
while she was in the Iron Man armor.
Right.
That's what they're really like Mandarin's real goal is to really mess up the public image of Iron Man, and Pepper Potts is also in the female version of an Iron Man armor called Rescue. Yeah. But he's successfully doing because he also has caught on camera the moment when what's his name Iron Man was drunk inside of his armor.
And one thing that Fraction's doing that's fantastic with this book is he's making the technological character of the Marvel Universe completely media and technologically aware as far as the storyline goes, you know, where it's being treated as if, you know, he's surrounded by paparazzi constantly. He's always under scrutiny in the public eye. And that really plays out well because you're having newspaper headlines, online headlines, like how many hits did this video get? How many hits did that video get? Like it's swaying public opinion about Iron Man, and Mandarin's figuring out like this, you know, instead of just punching him with my rings, I'm going to bring him down through the public and through people who work around him. And, you know, he's going to be exposed for being like a drunken schmuck.
Yep.
Excellent book.
Yeah, and it's also driving home that idea of, you know, it's not so much that he's a drunk again, but it's the fact that he fell off the wagon. And where you thought it could just be that moment where with no consequences, it has all the consequences.
Yeah. And, you know, because he's under so much scrutiny.
And I think I know who the mole is, too.
Yeah?
Yeah, because there's a mole set up in Stark Resilient, which is Stark's new crew, which is basically the Spy Master.
Right.
There was an issue early on when they kind of started Stark Resilient. There's two dudes there. One of them is there's a couple of them that are a gay couple.
Yes.
One of them, they never explained it. I think it was the Sinister Six issues, where that dude went to go rescue his lover, the guy with the mustache, and runs in and completely like beats crap out of Electro, and like body slams him. Yeah. And they never explained what that'll happen. So I think he's gonna be
the mole
on the team.
It's gonna be Tony Stark. They're gonna flip it. Fraction's gonna flip this.
Flipped it.
And you get more Iron Man action in this week's issue of Avengers number 20.
Oh yes.
I really like this issue. A lot of times for me, and I know you get the same way, sometimes the Bendis dialogue gets a little too bantery, and it's like, you know, he pulls from the same bag a lot. But I feel like it was nice and fresh in this issue, especially the scene where Norman Osborn is asking Madam Hydra, like, what's up with that head?
I was unhappy with that.
Really?
Because I want her to keep the head. I love that.
Well, in the, you know, to bring everybody who's watching up to speed, Madam Hydra has a giant octopus on her head.
She was Viper before this, yeah.
So, you know, she has a big octopus on her head, and, you know, Norman Osborn is doing this whole thing, which in the last issue he shows up at a press conference. It's revealed in this one that he's a hologram, and he's working with an amalgam of all the Marvel bad guy factions. So AIM, Hydra, whoever else is there, which I can never name. And, you know, in that one scene, he's asking Madam Hydra, what's up with the squid? You know, we can fix the squid. We're millionaires. And she fixed it. You know, they fixed it.
I really wish they didn't. That was so cool because it was like a holdover from Secret Warriors and like a nod to Earth X.
Yeah. But, you know, I feel like that's the Bendis kind of thing.
But otherwise, it was good. I think it was a really great issue. It kind of shows some weird team ups, like a team up I never thought I'd see would be like Red Hulk and Storm.
Yeah. Or are you Wolverine? She asked him if he's Wolverine, and he's like,
I didn't realize that. I didn't really put my finger on that. He hasn't really told a lot of people that he's Thunderbolt Ross.
Well, Cap's the only one who knows, I think.
Yeah.
And possibly Iron Man.
Maybe.
Yeah. And the scene with Iron Man and the Protector, where, you know, like he is explaining who AIM is, and he's like, they're trying to bring about world utopia through technology instead of politics, and he's like, that kind of sounds really nice.
It's like, oh, you mean so through logic and understanding and like and bettering sciences.
Yeah, and Iron Man's like, it's not to get on my nerves, and he's like, but you gotta admit, sounds pretty sweet.
What I liked was it was a good solid issue. They kind of throw everything at the Avengers in this issue. Iron Man's armor gets taken over, and they have like a little Ant-Man and a Giant Man.
Yep.
And did you see the solicitation for the upcoming like one of the Avengers covers? Like, because Bendis was doing an interview and he said, you know what, like there's some cool stuff happening at Osborn. We're actually going to give him powers, but it's going to kind of get ruined by the solicitation. Right. So I saw the solicit for it. It was in this month's solicit, and I called it, man.
Spider powers?
Nope. No, I think he does have. I think he does have Spire Sense, but Wolverine claws.
Awesome. Awesome. Just do it.
It's like he's like split into like four. He's wearing like some like green armor, and it's like he's popping Wolverine claws. He's got his hands like Doctor Strange, and he's got like the little like he's got Daredevil sense going around him, and friggin' like the little waves for the Spire Sense.
So they're giving him everything. They give him like
he's giving it Super Adaptoid,
the cocktail. Yeah. What's really cool is that this stuff is you know, it's a nice combination of story where a few issues ago apparently Norman Osborn has been collecting the blood of and DNA of superheroes, and
I would never want to collect Wolverine's blood.
No, it's starting to come out.
Probably so nasty.
It's blurple. And it comes out in this, he's the Hawkeye and Spider-Woman infiltrate Thunderbolt Mountain, and they encounter a bunch of Grey Hulks. You have like the Wasp people showing up, and then the giant people showing up at the end. So Osborn, and it's cool that they touch on the fact that like they're like, listen, if he's coming out here like this guy knows exactly what he's doing, and he has a plan, and we got to figure it out, but not get involved before it's too late, and they all get torn apart.
Yeah, man. Yeah, it was good. It was a good, solid issue.
It was a really good issue. Pick it up, man. It's only Avengers number 20 right now.
Talk about Incorporated.
You want to go? You want to go into the Batman?
Yep.
All right. A couple of good Batman books came out this week.
There's only one worth talking about.
Well, the other ones we're talking about too, man.
Never.
However, Batman Incorporated, man, fantastic. This actually is pre relaunch.
Pre Flashpoint.
Yeah.
Pre 52 relaunch.
Yeah.
So that card stock on that.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's a nice prestige format book. Grant Morrison, Chris Burnham, Cameron Stewart. Extremely excellent. It's a nice wrap up to the first part of the Batman Incorporated story, which started about a year ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If not longer.
So what do we
This
got?
is wrapping up, I think, 2.5 issues worth of story that wasn't published before. I guess they held off to kind of not confuse people, but I think it's still, if you were average reader and you've never picked up a Batman book, this is definitely not the one to pick up.
Oh, no, definitely not.
But like as reading like Grant Morrison's like R.I.P. and his return and Batman Robin, and this is a culmination of all this whole story. So essentially Batman before the relaunch, and to a degree now, he created this thing called Batman Incorporated, where he's making a team of international Batmen for something that he saw in his travels through time, some type of war or something he needs an army of Batmen for. So, you have Batwing, you have a Park War guy who does, called the Night Runner, and Gal Gaucho, and the Man of Bats, which is one of my favorite stories. The Indian guy. But in this one, the big villain has been this thing called Leviathan,
right?
Who's kind of a mystery person behind the scenes, but also a weird like Hydra thing,
right?
Where it's like a secret organization, and it gets very spy-like espionage thing. So we have the first story is ex-Batgirl, Steffi Brown. Spoiler. Right. Infiltrating a all-girls school that teaches. It's a really cool line. They're actually teaching like girls how to be like basically fetish superheroes. Yeah. Where if you're a millionaire and you can buy a
bodyguard,
like why not get like a teenage ninja girl?
And they're all daughters of powerful individuals.
Yes.
So
and they're all wearing the old like a spider version of the old Batwoman costume, the original Golden Age Batwoman costume.
Right. And the really kind of cool thing that you pointed out to me the other day is the chicks that Spoiler trains with are all based on different pop stars. So you have Rihanna, Lady Gaga, Madonna, and Katy Perry. Yeah, Katy Perry was the last one. And if you go back to the issue, you're kind of like, oh. Makes sense. And they are also very cartoony individuals in real life.
Yes. So. But Cameron Stewart did an amazing job. Someone compared him to beginning to cross the line over to like Frank Quitely style art. Yes. And you could definitely see that. You're seeing him really like getting into the craft. Yeah, everything's kind of very flush and like very beautiful in this issue. And it's so crazy. It's such a crazy goddamn book. So so this stuff happens. Batman rescues her from the school. She kind of rescues herself. They show the son of Professor Pig, which is really bizarre. Yeah. And they kind of give you some background on him in the next storyline, which is the issue after the second issue that's collected inside of this, which is Batman, his crew, Tim Drake, Red Robin, Damian, confronting Leviathan, who he believes at first is what's her name, his old girl, Jezebel Jet, right. Think that he's Jezebel Jet, which she supposedly died, I guess, in Batman R.I.P. Right, or whatever, like after that or something like that. So not her. El Gaucho turns out to be a double agent, right? And like almost kills Batman, but then he actually turns out to be on Batman's side. Yep. The world is going to shit. They bring back Lord Deathman. Yep. From the first storyline. Love Lord Deathman. Great stuff. And then you have like the haunting reveal of Jezebel Jet's head. Yeah. With her eye gouged out on top of like two bones. So and then like the bat phone's ringing and he's like, oh my God, she's dead. Yeah. So it wasn't Jezebel Jet. It was actually Talia al Ghul. Yep. The return of Talia al Ghul, which and Damien killed somebody too. Yes. Damian killed somebody, which is pretty bad.
But if that is, I don't know if that's written out. But I mean, like, it's a.
If he's dead.
Yeah, you know, like it's kind of a cool thing though. Where well, he did.
Has he killed somebody yet?
He crippled somebody in Batman
killed.
and Robin, but not killed somebody. This is the first time, but he did it out of saving Batman.
Right.
You know, where he's like, "I'm sorry, Dad," and he's like, "Oh, but
justified.
I'm gonna find a dead body."
It's justified.
Definitely justified. So if you like the Grant Morrison run of Batman Incorporated, which is completely wacky, awesome Batman stuff. Buy all that and then buy Batman Incorporated Leviathan Strikes.
Yeah, because this is leading into the new Batman Incorporated relaunch. And it's wonderful because it's untouched by the changes of the 52 universe.
And going with that, I feel like the more I'm reading the flagship Batman book,
the more you're loving it.
The more I'm loving it, and the more I feel like it's kind of standing apart from all the other the stuff that they're churning out. Issue number 4 came out this week, where it's Batman versus like the Owl people, the Coven,
the Court of Owls,
the Court of Owls,
awesome crew,
and it's a fantastic book, and you have some really cool interaction between it's a tired Batman, talking to Dick Grayson at one point, and he gets blown up at the end of the last issue. And Dick Grayson's like, "Hey, listen, don't you think this stuff is true, man? Shouldn't you be careful?" And he tells him this whole story about how it was essentially the first Bruce Wayne adventure as a detective when, after his parents got murdered, he heard all this owl stuff and did his own investigation as a 9-year-old and almost cracked the case. But he didn't.
And the worst part of it, too, is, he's doing it as a child, which is really terribly dangerous. But the fact that he gets lost and, trapped in an attic for a week and a half.
In a coma.
And he went to a coma, and Alfred had to go find him and rescue him.
I feel bad for Alfred, man.
Yeah, well, because you also saw the Batman trailer where he's crying.
I
promised your mother and father would protect you, and I failed.
She was only 16 years old.
Only 16. It's supposed to blow the doors off. But dude, and also whatever I said about Greg Capullo in the first couple of issues of this dude is amazing. I take it all back. He's an amazing, amazing artist. He really does some creative stuff with the storytelling, especially during the flashback sequences where it's almost like a viewfinder.
Yep.
And the design work and just the action panels. He draws a very big Batman.
He does. It's also
those the arm bracers that he rocks
look awesome.
Yeah,
they look awesome. His art is fantastic on it. I think he's also crossing into a little bit of Quietly territory. You know, because he's doing the wide faces.
If you're gonna go for facial expressions, he's one of the people that you should be kind of looking at.
Absolutely. So you still have Batman here, searching for the Coven of Owls. And, he's kind of
not believing that they exist.
And kind of phoning it in where he's like, I guess I got to investigate. And then, at the end, he gets thrown through a sewer wall by the
Talon.
Talon. By the Talon. And then you have, the little poem at the end justifying it. Man, this is... Justified. They're all... And then it becomes... The end of this issue becomes the... a nice crossover also into kind of wacky supervillain territory, because they throw him into a labyrinth.
Yeah.
At the end. This book is still available. If you have even heard of Batman in your life, pick up all 4 issues. You won't be disappointed.
Dude, it rocks. It's a really, really, and they're playing with the mythology of Batman and his past and Gotham, and it's just a really solid book.
Solid, fantastic book. It looks like we only got 10 minutes left. Let's go.
We got 15 to 20. What are you talking about?
We have to. I think Andrew's sick of you looking so comfortable. He's like, I want him. I want him uncomfortable.
You want to talk about?
Let's go,
Francis.
Let's go, Frank. All right, Punisher Max number 20 came out, and just when you thought it was safe to be Frank Castle, it's definitely not. It never is. It never is, man. In this story, man, Jason Aaron has kind of taken the Garth Ennis groundwork.
Yeah.
And it puts Frank through the ultimate ringer in every single one of his storylines.
He really, I think that you can, that flawless transition between Bendis and Brubaker, right? When they were piggybacking over Daredevil. Yeah. The same thing can be said about Garth Ennis and Jason Aaron. Jason Aaron really has an incredible way of capturing that same type of idea and voice that Frank had before, and also it doesn't hurt that you have Steve Dillon doing the art on it.
Yeah, which is, and I think he's kicked up his art game too. Steve Dillon, who's known for his phenomenal facial expressions, you get a lot of that stuff in this book. Is you have Frank infiltrating Vanessa Fisk's hideout, where she's lesbian lovers with Elektra, who's the bodyguard.
You have so contemningly.
You have what? There's no combination in my voice. You just don't like the alliteration of lesbian lovers.
Lesbian lovers.
And
you
have
lovers.
You have Wilson Fisk kind of patrolling the grounds. He's got like a
trying
hat
to figure
on
out where Frank is. Where Frank is what's his deal?
Yeah. So
because Frank's been homeless this whole time.
Yep.
And
that culminates at the end of this issue too, where he finds out he finds Frank's house. But you have an awesome fight between.
This is one of my favorite fights
Elektra.
in a long time.
What's up?
This is like one of my favorite fights in a long time.
I agree with you, man. You have an awesome fight between Elektra and and Frank. You have she's an incredible assassin. She stabs him right in the gut, kicks the sign in his gut. He's trying to attack her. She's kind of like, "You're an old man. What do people see in you? Why do people fear you?"
Where's the myth? You're just a you move like a big old ox.
Completely stabs him up.
Stabs him in the stomach. Pushes the blade, with the side in her stomach. She's basically. What happens right afterwards? I wish I had my comment.
He gets stabbed in the arm. She says her thing, and then he punches. He bites
a chunk of her arm off, and punches her in the mouth. Spits the piece of arm back in her face.
Yep.
And then
awesome. And then that fight was very reminiscent of the Jesse fight in The Preacher, in the first few issues of Preacher.
Yeah, man, absolutely.
He bites a chunk of his arm off. He starts shooting her. He takes ninja stars in the face.
He takes a ninja star in the middle of the freaking forehead.
They do like a shootout. She drops a smoke grenade. And this dude wins, man.
Oh, the best is when she was saying when she was saying that moment of where's the mythic Punisher? Like, some big, dumb ox. Like, how'd you make it so far? And when he bites her arm off and beats the shit out of her, he goes, now I bet you got some idea.
Shoots himself through the arm to shoot her.
Yes.
Trains a gun on her head and says, "You got a phone?" And she just
basically, don't. I'm gonna blow your brains out.
Concedes the victory. Calls the Kingpin. Kingpin knows what the deal is. Knows that Punisher's coming back home. Punisher's waiting. Kingpin's waiting outside of Frank Castle's house.
Plus, you also have the revelation that he goes to a prostitute.
Yes.
That he goes Frank Castle goes to a greasy, old, unattractive prostitute named Flo just to get his motor moving.
Mm-hmm. He needs.
And she goes like this, admit it, you're the best. I'm the best you ever had. And he's like, no.
Never. And you also have Frank as a kid. You never really get Frank as a kid. You
only
have,
that one story.
His dad, you have his dad teaching him how to shoot in this episode. In this issue.
And then his son asked him, "Can you teach me how to shoot?" And he's like, "No,
I don't want you to become me." That's it. Great issue.
Good. All wrapping up with probably going to be a very sad ending.
I think so. It's always a sad ending, but Frank always wins.
2 issues left, I think, of the run.
That sucks. Well, I feel like he's gonna have to
kill him,
have him ride off into the sunset.
I hope not.
I think so.
Blaze of Glory.
Blaze, you think he's gonna go down like that?
Blaze of Glory.
I want to see the sunset, mate. Aaron, obviously huge Western fan, also a huge fan, and Garth Ennis too. Same way. You gotta have Frank ride into the sunset.
Blaze of Glory.
He's gonna murder the
him walking into the sunset, set on fire, just like he did at the end of his of the end.
Yes, which was also great. Which I think that's still available too as part of a collected edition.
Yeah.
With all the Mac stuff, Punisher to the End by Garth Ennis, which is the last Punisher story, which is in prison for like 1 million years, and then he gets out and starts killing every politician left on Earth.
So good.
And you were saying that the next comic we're going to talk about, Daredevil #7, you're saying that you want this to win the Eisner for best standalone issue?
I think this is definitely a high contender for a done-in-one story. This was tremendously well done. Mark Waid is doing something with Daredevil that has not been done in a very long time, and deal with him with a smile on his face.
Yep.
But at the core of it, he's really a sad dude who's really masking his psychosis. He could break at a moment, but the whole story revolves around him, Matt Murdock, doing a bit of community service with a bunch of troubled blind kids and bringing them out to the Catskills in a bus ride.
Right.
Don't know where they're going or anything, but they flip the bus. The bus driver dies, and now Matt Murdock has to walk these kids through the icy tundra of the Catskills. And what's amazing about it, since they're blind, he's wearing his tattered Daredevil costume while almost bleeding to death through his leg. And
what's kind of cool is you have to do a double take in the issue because he puts the costume on. They don't tell you outright the kids are blind, but they are. You know.
Yeah, they don't say right off the bat like these are blind kids. They're just like troubled kids.
Yeah, so
but they're all blind.
So he's comfortable in the Daredevil outfit. You know, he puts his stuff on. And then you're going back and forth between that and then him being really somber in his office, staring at the data disk that he got in the last story arc with all the secrets on it. And then Foggy saying like, "Hey man, there's a Christmas party," and he's like, "All right, cool, man. I'll be there in a second." And he comes out wearing an "I'm Not Daredevil" sweater with like a big candy cane. And, he's kicking it to chicks and
I like his moves,
drinking wine. Matt Murdock is a pimp.
It's a very sad kind of like defeating issue with that. It's a good I don't know. It's a solid, well put together 30 pages of story.
And the kids end up saving him at the end.
Yep.
What I really loved about Wade's run on the book is that he injected the past 7 issues of Daredevil with a lot of lightheartedness, a lot of 60s kind of storytelling, from, the comic books that came out back then. They were all very lighthearted, not too heady. However, you also get the hint that, I haven't forgotten about 40 years of continuity. This guy is a dark individual. And this is kind of like the first sign where you see it start seeping in a little bit, because he went through so much in the last storyline where he became like a demon man.
Yeah.
And,
well, everything. He's always, he's a guy who really dealt with his like anxiety and like problems on head on by receding into violence and darkness and depression, and he's a very human character. And the fact now he's an Avenger as well.
Yep. This is gonna be awesome. Daredevil number 5, Daredevil 7. Pick it up, standalone issue. I think we got time for one more book, real quick. You pick it, man. What do you want? Justice League, Amazing, Butcher, Ultimate Spidey.
No, none of those.
Thunderbolts, Wonder Woman.
No.
I got it. FF number 601.
Yes.
Fantastic Four number 601.
I shed a tear in this issue.
What?
I shed a tear in this issue.
Well, all right. Tell us why.
Because I have mental problems and emotional stigma. Basically, this is the fallout of Fantastic Four 600. Giant Storm made his triumphant return, being the new ruler of the Annihilation Wave, and king of the Negative Zone. But what's great is Spider-Man's the first one to see him. He's blown away because he's like his best friend. And the moment is great. He runs out, he flies out, and he does the flaming Fantastic Four symbol. And there's like that panel of like Sue Storm crying her eyes out. Ben Grimm, he just like regains his strength and cries his eyes out. It's just like, it was awesome. Him being the heart and soul of the team.
A very cathartic issue too. And you have like the big giant return. The fact that, they're asking him, they're saying like, hey, you look a little bit older. Like, what's the deal with that? And Reed popping in and saying, well, actually time was a little faster than the Negative Zone, so he's been gone for like 6 months and he's aged 2 years.
Yeah.
So he's like a little older. It's a more mature Johnny Storm than what we're used to, because he's
very powerful.
Very powerful, and he's the leader of the Negative Zone. He has the Cosmic Control Rod. He has his own group of crazy space guys, who get
Light Brigade.
And they get in Captain America's face at one point in this issue. Really, really dynamic stuff happening.
There's a lot happening all at once.
And the awesome subplot is that you also have Supremor giving Ronan the ultimatum, and Ronan walking away from him saying, I don't want any part of you trying to destroy Earth.
Yep. And now the Earth is kind of going to shit because they've used the Annihilation Wave to destroy most of the Kree ships, and now you have like thousands of millions of pounds of rubble flying to everywhere.
Yep.
Dude, it's awesome. And a great compliment to this as well is Reed FF, as well, on top of this. Not Fantastic Four, the actual FF book.
Yeah.
Because that should be coming out sometime soon.
It's coming out next week, actually.
And what I didn't realize, because I just read a preview to Avengers Children's Crusade, the next issue, why Doom has white armor, aside from just the uniform aspect of it.
Why?
Read the next issue and you'll see.
I will.
He's kind of doing a Secret Wars type of thing, where he's very powerful and clean-faced.
He wants to sell action figures.
Oh, yes.
All right, I think that about does it for this episode of Behind the Counter. I'm Rich Stambolian.
I am not sure what I am anymore.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.